So it's the 31st of August, the transfer window has not shut yet, and we've got to £54 million in the bank. We've made £17 million in profit this month. So, how have the transfers been? And what other moves have we been making in Europe? Did we do well in the Champions League? And how has our league campaign been going so far? Let's go with the games first and see what's happened. The first game we had was a 4-0 victory against Puskas Academia, and having struggled to figure out what my best team was going to be, Garnev made no mistake and made a point to tell me, "Boss, I'm your best striker." And he did. Andre Santos had a shot that was saved, and Martinez scored the rebounds there. And then we made it 3-0. Famin, who started because of Balanta being upset, finds Santos, he finds Garnev, and Garnev finds the back of the net. And we make it 4 before half-time, Torrigiano scoring that penalty. A very good game, and a game we absolutely dominated, and if we didn't win in, I would have been very, very surprised. So you can imagine my surprise when we didn't beat Debreceni in the next match. We only drew 0-0, kept another clean sheet, but that's perfectly fine. And I had some players who are on the bench that are not very happy. Balanda and Kavlina both unhappy right now, both saying, I want to leave. So they're not starting. Other players, like Bogner, I wanted to get some first team football to because I thought, you know what, give the rotation up, keep it nice and fresh. But for whatever reason, we just could not break our opponents down, and we failed to win, which was disappointing, and I really hope this is a one-time thing. Well, it turns out that it was a one-time thing because we beat Giamot 6-0 in the next match. Salazar scoring the opening goal, and that's a really good finish. We then make it 2-0 inside 20 minutes. Martinez showing his ability down the line. He finds Salazar. Salazar cuts inside and does that to get his second of the game. We then make it 3 before half-time. Torrigiano with this delightful ball to find Diaz. He plays across to find Garnev, who finds the back of the net. 41 minutes in, and now we are 4-0 up. Pena is the player that's playing at centre-back. He finds Fomin, he finds Andre Santos, and he finds Garnev. Garnev finds the back of the net. And then we latch on to their mistake and their lack of concentration inside 45 minutes. Andre Santos with a great run and shoots and scores 5-0. And in the 64th minute of the second half, we make it 6. Garnev plays the ball across, and he finds Salazar, who completes his hat-trick. A very good finish and a very good victory. We love winning by these scorelines. We then took them further and beat them by 3-0. We were really good in this game, and Martinez able to find the back of the net by accident, so that's a good start. And inside 70 minutes, we're doubling our lead. Gustavo plays the ball across to find Famin. He finds Pena, and he finds Andre Santos. A good goal. And 20 minutes in, we win the ball back. Diaz finds Famin. He finds Andre Santos. He finds Salazar, and Garnev scores to make it 3. A really good performance from our point of view, and a match we dominated once again. The next game we had was in the Champions League against Hadju Split in the Champions Playoff round, and we had to come from behind twice to get a draw. Sacido scores the first goal inside 4 minutes, and then we score an equaliser inside 19 minutes. Garnev, showing his ability with the ball, finds Diaz, and Diaz finds the back of the net. But they got back in front inside 21 minutes, scoring from a corner, near post corner. It was disappointing, but we managed to get ourselves a second equaliser inside 27 minutes. Diaz is able to play his ball across. He finds Salazar, and he was able to find the back of the net despite the fact he had to come from ahead of the ball to get to the ball. It was a good finish, and I was happy. I'm just disappointed with the fact we did not beat Hadju Split away from home. It gives me cause for concern. However, my concerns were put to rest in the second leg. We beat them 2-0. 10 minutes in, Martinez plays the ball across to fire Salazar, and he makes no mistake, despite the fact we missed a penalty early on. And inside 24 minutes, we double our lead. Andre Santos with a delightful pass to find Hanek. He plays across, and Garnev doubles our lead. We're in the Champions League again, and it's really good. We then, to complete the month of August, took on Ferencváros and beat them 4-1. Salazar with the opening goal of the game inside 10 minutes. Inside 50 minutes, we get ourselves a second goal. Andre Santos finds Famin, he finds Diaz, and he finds Garnev. Garnev places it in the bottom corner. 62 minutes in, and we make it 3-0. Torrigiano finds Hanek, he finds Diaz, and Diaz finds the bottom corner to make it 3-0. And then it's 4-0 inside 65 minutes. Andre Santos finds Torrigiano. Torrigiano gets a lovely finish in off the post to the point that goal line technology had to confirm it went over the line. We then conceded a penalty and concede from it inside 68 minutes, but Mohamed Abou-Fani's penalty was not enough to cause concern. In the league, after 5 games, we have picked up 13 points, 4 wins, 1 draw, no defeats, 17 goals scored, 1 conceded. We're looking very, very strong indeed. But now, I should talk about the transfers because it's been a big outlay so far. We have made £23 million so far, and you'll recognise that there was a name I mentioned in the match that you did not see or you weren't aware of. But Vitaly Fomin, I brought for £4.6 million from Sparta Moscow. I thought to myself, he's 22 years of age, he's got a release clause, I might as well activate it. He likes big matches, he's consistent, and he's a star player for our division. We are paying him £23,000 a week, and if I compare him to Balanta, who is his main rival, you can see there's a bit of a difference, but Balanta's a better defensive player, and he's got more acceleration, but for technical, physical, and aerial ability, Fomin is the better player. They've both got the same sort of vision in terms of that regards. So, what I'm going to say is, Fomin is the more physical player, which is important for the role we're looking for, while mentally, Balanta is the better player, and on average, is the better technical player as well. But most of the technicals I've seen are either for wide areas or for the set pieces. For me, he's not a set piece player. I don't need to be a set piece player. He is a player that I think could do better. Yes, he's not as good as Balanta in the tackling side of things, but Balanta for the longest time, and still is, asking to leave. That's the reason why Fomin's in, and has been starting ahead of Balanta this year. He's also a year younger than Balanta, so I think we've got a good decision here. We made a choice. I had to do something. I was upset with him. I bought in Victor Monez on a free transfer because, honestly, I could. I thought, why not? He's a star player as a 2.5-star kind of busy player for us, so that's an interesting problem to have, that 2.5 stars for our team is now a star player in our division. So we've clearly got up a level in that regards, and Gorganev is just that good. But yes, interesting problem to have. He's coming from the bench once. He's nothing more than a squad player, if not a breakthrough prospect. He knows it too, so there you go. We sold a KK for £1.5 million to Rajika. It was officially confirmed. He's not good enough for the squad anymore, and that says a lot. He's only a 2-star, kind of busy player for us now. Andreas Hegedus is out on loan, which again is not a massive shock. He was out on loan last year, but this time he's in the top flight, so I'm hoping he has a good time. He's made 5 starts so far and got 2 goals. He's proving himself to me that he could be a player that we use in the future. The face of 1.5-star kind of busy player and is actually good enough to be a decent player for our division, I think says a lot about him and our team. Bertrand Boxe has left us for Rayo Vallecano. He left us for £2.9 million. I was always going to be happy with that price. He's made 3 appearances in La Liga so far, and the man with 40 caps for Hungary and one of our homegrown products has finally left us. It's taken 9 years, but his hatred for big matches and the fact he was only a 2-star kind of busy player for me was something that really set the ball rolling, and he's on 20 grand a week at Vallecano. He's worth between £7 and £9.6 million a week. I think we could have got worse, but £2.9 million for him is still good money. For a player that I never used, to get £2.8 million for Piesman Kamali is a good deal. We signed him for nothing. We sent him out on loan twice, once to LA Galaxy and once to Bakthwell. And to get 22.5 grand for loan contribution for a player we signed for £11,000 and then an extra £2.8 million on a separate deal is really good. He's been lighting the MLS on fire right now with 2 goals and 1 assist so far, but he was just asking for too much money from me, and I just could not get the money I wanted. He was asking too much money. He wasn't going to get the first team football he wanted, so I thought, you know what? Cut my losses, let him go. Even if it was a great prospect for us, it made no sense to keep him around. We sold Moner to SCSB in Romania for £400,000. I think I've done well to get £400,000 out of him, honestly, but there you go. It was one of those decisions I just had to make, and it made sense in my mind to do it. Oscar Eduardo Vajos has left us for Tottenham Hotspur. We sold him for £4 million after only signing him for £1.7 million, so we still made double the profit, but he was absolutely whining about wanting to go to Tottenham, and I thought, you know what? I'll cut my losses. I've got centre-backs who need first-team football. You're in their way. You can go. The fact he's only a 2.5-star accountability player for us makes me wonder why Tottenham signed him. He has made an appearance on the bench, but again, don't know why they signed him. Mostly as backup, I'm assuming, right? It must be backup. I don't actually know. I'm assuming it's a backup situation. Julio Cesar is out on loan to Italian side Cosenza. I'm assuming they're in Serie A. Okay, they're in Serie A, and he's played 3 times in Serie A. Okay, don't know how that's worked out, but I'm not complaining. If he improves, that's great. His personality's changed to light-hearted. What? He was unambitious, now he's light-hearted. I'm not complaining, that's great. He's a leading player for our division and consistent performer, and he's a 2-star accountability player, which I think says a lot. His injury proneness is a problem, but I need him to improve if he's going to get first-team football here, because he would have been the player that would have replaced Vajos on the left side of centre-back. But because I was concerned about his personality, I let him go out on loan. So there you go. We signed this guy for a free transfer, don't forget, so we could definitely make some money. And who knows? This guy could be a fun prospect. We've already made the money back on the loan fees alone. £175,000 we're making for this guy. And yeah, if he plays in Serie A, then he plays in Serie A. Milan Bresnik has gone out on loan to Ferencváros. I thought to myself, he needs first team football. I can't guarantee it. They're a good team to be taking him on loan. A leading player for our division, 2-star accountability player. So again, makes sense to let him go out on loan. We're making almost all money back just from the loan fees so far, it feels like. So there you go. Good money indeed. He got 12 goals in the Slovakian top flight last year. So clearly, he's a player that can do good things. Just needs some first team football for Ferencváros, and I hope he can get it. He couldn't play against us because, you know, we're the parent club. But hopefully, he gets the first team football he needs. We also sent Noel Carestes out on loan to them as well. Ferencváros have decided, actually, you know what? The best way to beat them is to take all their young prospects and get those young players. He's a leading player for our division, consistent, very consistent, and loves big matches. But he was complaining about lack of first team football, and I thought to myself, just go out on loan. And then Ferencváros said, we'll take him. And I said, yes, thank you. So yeah, it was one of those things. It made sense. Why not? Homegrown player. And to get first team football in a team like Ferencváros, that's outstanding. What a signing this could be. And what a move this could be for him. And then I sold Nicolas Cavallina to Wolves for £10 million. This was not something I wanted to do. I'm just going to say it here and now. This was not a move I wanted to make, but he forced my hand. He was starting to lead riots against me. Not literally, but he was starting to get to the point that I was getting team meetings twice a week about him, and I thought to myself, you know what? If he wants to leave so badly, I'll sell him. Given we paid just £220,000 for him, and we've had him for 5 whole years, to get £10.25 million for him is outstanding, and he's now in the Premier League. Hasn't played for Wolves yet, but I hope he gets the appearances and tells me and shows me just why the move is so important, because if it doesn't go well for him, I can only point and laugh. But I signed as a replacement. I say replacement. I don't think it's a replacement, but Luca Nua is now here. He is a star player for the league and is consistent. He's also able to improve as well. He's got a resilient personality, but is someone who doesn't like big matches. Yeah, it was never going to be perfect, but we've got someone we can work with for now. Along with Ricardo Delgado, we've got 2 players who I think could be really good. And if I compare him and Cavallina, It was never going to be a contest that was going to be fair, was it? Kavlina's just really good. But Luka Null is actually better at distribution and has got more speed. So maybe this is actually a good signing after all. If I was to compare him to Delgado, then honestly, it's no contest either. Delgado is a completely different goalkeeper to Luka Null, but again, they're both backups in their contract, so that's fine. I can work with that. I went to my backroom staff and I said, can we find someone who's like Nicolas Kavlina? And they came back with this guy, and it made sense. It made a lot of sense. So there you go, an option there. And if I was to go to Delgado and complain to Kavlina, there was a reason why Kavlina was not dropped before this season. But yeah, hopefully we get good money and hopefully things go well. Oh, in other news, Temas is looking like he's about to go to Benevento for £1.2 million. And we are also attempting to loan out Hamblick to, you guessed it, Ferencváros. Yeah, they love our players apparently right now. Hamblick wanted to go on loan because he was not getting the first team football, which is fair. And Temas was also just not getting first team football and wasn't getting in the team. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'll stand for £1.2 million. It made sense. So we should get more money in the future and another player out on loan to Ferencváros, who I hope will be able to utilize these players for their European campaign. Speaking of our European campaign, we have been given our fixtures. And we have been given Shakhtar Donetsk, Basel, Porto, Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, Frankfurt, AC Milan, and Bayern Munich. The beginning of the campaign, so nice. Both at home as well. Last couple of games of the campaign, not so nice. I say the first 3 games are winnable. The next 5 games could be challenging depending on how we do and what they're like. I know we beat AC Milan before. I think it was AC Milan we beat. Yes. I know we beat AC Milan last year, but again, I'm just going to say who now. AC Milan could be a difficult option. Bayern Munich have never lost to us. Though we have drawn against them once, so we can do something against Bayern Munich. We just need to score against them 1 point. Frankfurt we've never taken on before. Atletico Madrid beat us 2-0 before, once upon a time, 4 years ago. Inter Milan we've never taken on. And we have beaten Porto in the Champions League last year, so we know we can beat Porto. And we've taken on Basel in the playoff round of the Champions League and beaten both legs 2 years ago, so we know we can beat them. Well, we've never taken on Shakhtar, so there are definitely some teams in this competition we can beat, and that is great. But how did the other teams in Hungary do in Europe? I'm going to go from teams downwards in positions they're predicted to finish in, and we're going to go with Ferencváros first because they were beaten 4-1 by Dinamo Zagreb in the Europa League playoff round, which means they've dropped down in the Conference League, which is fine because if anything, we might have a better opportunity to get more points in the Conference League with as many teams that are down there as there are. Could there be as many as 4 teams from Hungary in the Europa Conference League? Well, Budapest Academic knocked out the Europa League themselves. They lost 4-2 over 2 legs in the second qualifying round, which was disappointing, but it meant that they could be in the Europa League. But it meant they could be in the Conference League. And they won their first game by 4 goals to 0 over 2 legs in the third qualifying round. They beat their Luxembourg opponents, Dudlanga. And in the fourth qualifying round, they beat Lokomotiv Plovdiv by 5 goals to 1 over 2 legs to ensure they get through to the Conference League league phase for the first time that I can remember in a while. I think they're there last year, but we've got 2 teams in there now. Could we get a third or fourth? Well, then we have Ferencváros, who were in the Champions League second qualifying round and lost 5-0 over 2 legs to Dynamo Kyiv. But then they went to the Europa League third qualifying round and won 5-3 over 2 legs against Pas Giannina. So that's a good start. And I thought to myself, that's really good. Hopefully they do better. And then they were taking on AZ Alkmaar and lost 4-1 over 2 legs. Admittedly, all the goals came in the second leg and they were 1-0 up. So they almost knocked out AZ out of the Europa League. It was just unfortunate the second half decided to be an absolute capitulation in their point of view. And they lost. But hey, they got to the playoff round of the Europa League, so fair enough to them. It's just unfortunate they were destroyed. But that's a third team in the Conference League phase. But then we go to GMOT, who had to go through the Conference League qualifying rounds, second qualifying round first and foremost. They won 5-2 over 2 legs in the second qualifying round against Tristina, so that's a good start. They then took a Molde and beat them 2-1 over 2 legs, despite losing the second leg by goals to nil. So they took on a good team here and got through to the fourth qualifying round. But could they get to league phase and join 3 other teams from Hungary in the league phase of the Conference League? Unfortunately, they were beaten 6-3 over 2 legs by St. Polten in the fourth qualifying round, so we don't get 4 teams in the league phase of the Conference League for the first time ever, but we still got 3 teams, and that's really, really good. So between ourselves in the Champions League, no Hungarian teams in the Europa League, but 3 Hungarian teams in the Conference League, we've got a good chance to get some good points again this year, and I'm very excited. So far, it's so good, I suppose. We are in 11th place in the coefficients chart. Switzerland and Romania are having a really good year so far, as are Slovakia and Poland, but that's fine. We don't need to worry about those particular teams or nations so much. As things stand, we are hopefully going to be staying ahead of Scotland and closing the gap to Belgium, but I don't think Austria is a target right now anymore, which is a shame, but what can you do? I think next year's the year we go for Austria, really, if we can keep up with them. Ukraine, though, definitely a target. And as things stand, we are going above Ukraine. Just about. It's literally the finest of margins, like 0.8 points. But we are a point behind Belgium as well, so who knows? Maybe we can get lucky. But we are only 2 points clear of Scotland, so again, not ideal. Slovenia could be a dangerous nation this year because they're actually losing a really bad year with 3.75, and they've already gotten close to matching it. But who knows, that could be a very dangerous situation to find out about ourselves. Hopefully, we don't get caught by them. But what I'm going to be doing is ending this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video, and that you subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. But anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.